This is what it should look like.
Yes!
I like this sign that this little child here was holding. They want us to hate one another, but they will not win. We love one another.
Yes!
We are a human family.
Yes!
What are these yellow trucks parked there for? What's the septic system doing there? It takes a lot more than a septic system to hold us apart.
Yes!
We are with God. God has never lost a battle. Never. Don't mess with God. And don't mess with God's people.
Yes!
Oh, it's so wonderful to see you all. And we're going on. Nothing will stop us. Nothing will hold us back. God is on our side. And I'll say like Moses said to Pharaoh, let my people go.
Yes!
Said, Pastor, you look mad. I don't blame you because there's something boiling in me. I'm saying let the human family be human. Let them breathe. Let them live. Why? Where's the authority that you have? You don't have it. We're with God, and with God we win.
Yes!
We have some excellent speakers here today, and for that reason, I won't speak long because I want them to speak. Amazing people, people that are giving up their reputation, people that are not worried about what people say, evil report or good report. That's what we need in this country. That's what we need. We need people, we need leaders that don't care about themselves, but care for the people. And we need pastors that are after God's own heart, that will pastor the people. I'll close with this, and I'll say it in German, and I'll be quick to translate it into English. In German, the saying goes, wer einmal lügt, den glaubt man nicht, auch dann, wenn die Wahrheit spricht. He that lies to you once, you don't believe him anymore, even when they tell you the truth. They have too many times cried, wolf, wolf, another 30 days, wolf. We no longer believe it. We no longer believe it. We don't believe in shutting down businesses. I have said so many times, not about me or my church. It's about the human family. This is my human family. God bless you. Please make more noise for the pastor, please.
Guys, look at this. Look at all the
As I said before, thank you to all my risk takers out here, everybody that came out and take a stand against what is not right. We have so many great speakers out here, so many great voices, so many great people. Sometimes you don't need a voice, you just need to be a number amongst the mass. And that's what each and every one of you people are. And I salute to you. Thank you. Thank you to all our servicemen and servicewomen that have been putting their lives on the line since day one.
Yes!
We're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it tight and warm because I know it's getting chilly. But that's not going to stop us. We're Canadians, right? We grew up with this stuff, right?
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
right. So I want to bring someone that's on our side. I want to bring a very influential person too. You might have seen him at the Church of God also earlier today. Retired OPP, Vince Gersey. Please come to the stage, sir. Please make some noise!
It's a real pleasure to see everybody here today. What a fantastic crowd. I want to welcome you here to week 59 of 2 weeks to flatten the curve thing. Week 59. So I'm really here to speak to you about a few issues. One of them is uncovering the truth. That's why I'm here and that's why I'm involved. I first became involved at Adamson's Barbecue. I happen to have the privilege of being there and meeting Adam Skelly and trying to get some of his brisket, which I never got because the horses blocked me and the 250 officers blocked me from having brisket. I should have just gone to the Costco next door because it was opened and jam-packed.
Yeah.
So what I saw that day at Adam Scully's barbecue, and I think you've all seen the videos already, is that trust which we have in our law enforcement agencies was fractured. And I know that trust takes a long time to build in any relationship, whether it's between you and your spouse or some friend. Trust takes a long time to build, and it can be fractured very quickly. And in this case, it will take decades and generations to fix the trust that has been breached.
Yes.
So the first thing I want to talk about is the part of the division that we're going through. Your number one enemy that I have found in my 32 years of investigative experience, and now passing on my forensic investigative experience into looking at what's going on around the world. Your number one enemy now is the media.
100%.
The censorship is incredible. You are shut down immediately. There is no voice to the contrary. And if you've noticed, there is no debate. If we were to look back historically, we've always had debates on issues of conflict all the time, except now we can't have that issue. And that problem with the censorship and the lack of debate leads to why some people think one way, because they just don't have access to the information that we have. But that information is readily available, perhaps not on a video format that somebody's put together. But if you go to the provincial government Ministry of Health, there's all kinds of wonderful information there. If you go to our federal agencies like Stats Canada, there's all kinds of information there. Yet our members of parliament and our members of provincial parliament fail to bring these issues forward. But we have a few heroes within our government that gives us hope. Roman Baber had come up with information that was supported by government statistical data, and he was demonized, and he wasn't allowed to speak, and he was kicked out of the caucus. Lucky for us here today, we have two fantastic heroes in our country that are going to speak to you on those issues. The other issue that we have a problem with, and I won't go into detail because you are all awake and you understand this, but a lot of our police officers don't understand this, is the political Trojan horse that has captured the narrative that is moving forward on top of the COVID issue. This issue we're dealing with that is putting us in lockdown, it is a political issue. It is not a health issue. Now, unfortunately, there's been a lot of harassment by police officers and our church groups and our protest groups, and we've seen a tremendous amount of civil violations against our population, and that's something that is uncalled for. I'm very, very proud of the Canadian anthem, and I believe you are all as well. We're all patriots here, and we love the words that we hear in the Canadian anthem. Unfortunately, I'm going to divide the police officers that we have now into two groups. And I have been in contact with quite a few officers that are completely against these lockdowns and these tyrannical mandates that have come out. And I will call them the free thinkers. They're able to think for themselves, use their investigative experience and say, I've seen the data, I do not believe in this information. And then we have the conformists, those that conform to what they are told to do, follow orders, and lay charges. I will tell you that there is one advantage to having a ticket. There is tremendous value in being the recipient of a ticket, because that ticket will contain a badge number on it. And don't ever forget it, because that individual is someone who is willing to breach your International Declaration of Rights, your Charter of Rights, your Bill of Rights.
Yes!
They're willing to do that. So we have police in two different categories, and I'm going to put it this way. Policing in Ontario and across Canada now is like a box of chocolates.
You never know.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay? So I find that officers who have been violating their oath violating the Charter, violating the Police Services Act. I'm going to add one more item to that. They are violating the Canadian anthem. And this goes for the chiefs of police and all police officers. You need to ask yourself a question. If I'm violating my oath, I'm no longer a person of my word. If you don't stand on guard for thee, what do you stand for?
Yes! Woo!
I told you we were going to have some great speakers. I told you we we're going to tell you, get down to the nitty gritty, didn't I? I told you this wasn't going to fall either, so thank you. Thank you for not making me look bad. So many great words that have already been said. We continue to get riled up the right way. Peaceful is the way. Whether you want to believe that or not, sometimes when it gets you infuriated, when you think they're not listening, because a lot of the time they're not. They're not listening to the little guys or little girls or little kids that are writing letters in school while they're in there for a week till they get kicked out and then there's no school again. We don't know what's going on. But the peaceful movements are making a difference. We're seeing the rallies in numbers. Tremendous numbers all across the globe, from coast to coast in Canada. Continue to keep that support up. We are going to welcome another beautiful voice to this soapbox right here. And I'd like you to put your hands together, let your mouth make weird noises like, woo! Please do that for me. For Kristen Nagel, please come up and say something, please.
I think they're going to have to get a lot more creative than just some trucks blocking a street. One thing I've noticed is that the harder they put pressure on us, the more creative we get.
Yeah.
So many of you may already know me, but for those that don't, my name is Kristen Nagel. I'm a nurse, a holistic nutritionist, but a mom first, and one that is advocating for the health and freedoms of our children.
Yes, baby.
It has now been a year since fear has infiltrated the mainstream media and many people's hearts. What has been taken from us in such a short period of time is unimaginable. But what we have allowed to be taken is now our responsibility to amend. We're in the second year of this colossal erosion of our long-term freedoms with no end in sight. If complying and being patient worked, we wouldn't be gathering here today.
Yeah.
We have been violated by pharmaceutical companies and the government for far too long.
Hell yeah.
We now must understand that if we do not exercise and protect our rights and freedoms, we will lose them forever.
Yep.
Just like in medicine, you lose what you don't use. And we cannot take our civil liberties for granted. Taking the easy road is no longer an option if we want to be free, sovereign beings. Enough is enough. So today is about empowerment. Today is about realizing our true power and potential without waiting for someone to come and save us. It is now time to redefine what it means to be Canadian and take bold action to save the future of our country. Silence our voices and separate us from our loved ones and the moments of their first breath to their last.
Yeah.
And I cannot stand idly by while this abuse is happening to our elderly, our children, the next generation of Canadians, and all of society. They have tried to silence me and break me, but it has only made my voice louder and stronger.
Carl, what are you doing? That's Carl from Black Sheep Tree Media.
Connect me with more like-minded individuals to grow a strong network to create
Happy
change.
Revolution, everybody.
I have been terminated, defamed nationally by the media, and they're trying to revoke my nursing license for speaking against the narrative. This last year has allowed me to remove any remaining barriers to unabashedly and unapologetically be myself. I am choosing to go against the grain, to be rejected, and to not fit in. In doing so, confident in my own skin, and more connected to my community, which is all of you here today. It brought Sarah, Shajini, and I together, and we formed the Canadian Frontline Nurses, uniting nurses so our voices may be heard. Nurses all over Canada are being silenced. They're having to choose between their souls or their careers. And I've already met many today that are in this situation. They're now being deployed to areas outside of their scope of practice and are expected to maintain the same high standard of care with no cross-training. Nurses are being used as pawns, and many of us have had enough. We can no longer be part of the corruption we are seeing within our healthcare system. It is time that we all find our courage, our bravery, and our voices to stand firm and united in truth to do the right thing. Each and every one of us who have bravely attended today are here for a reason. We are here living and breathing in this time by intention. It is not coincidence that we have all found each other in our uniting and gathering in solidarity. We are here to be the light workers, the change makers, the healers. We are standing on the right side of history today, and we will change its course one brave step at a time. Premier Ford spoke this week about how difficult it is to not know what to do, and how if he speaks to 10 medical experts,
Ford.
And if he speaks to 10 medical experts, he has given 9 different recommendations on how he should proceed.
He should make his own mind up.
Last summer, parents were relieved to see Sick Kids Hospital release their expert recommendations to avoid masks and distancing in schools because of the severe harm it would cause to their mental and physical health. Sadly, this was short-lived, and within a week, they completely reversed their stance after a $5.9 million donation from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Wow! Whoa! Whoa, boo!
Is the science really settled, or is it just bought? Now's the time for all of us to make our own recommendations, to take responsibility of our own health and realize we have everything we need within us. Public health officials and politicians cannot dictate our health. That is for us and only us to decide.
Yes!
We must stop waiting for them to fix the system that is broken beyond repair. We must accept that the current systems may crumble around us and put our efforts into building entirely new structures for our lives.
Yes!
We must focus on in-person connections and social networks that we create. Gardens, schools, treatment centers, organized sports. We have the ability to create all that has been taken from us. We have the ability to be more self-sufficient and less reliant on the current systems. Yes. We have everything we need, and we do not need to wait on anyone to save us. We, right now and here, are the answer and the solution. We are capable of creating something beautiful, something that focuses on health and a more meaningful connection with nature and others.
Yes! Thank God!
We've been on the wrong trajectory for the past 100 years, under false beliefs about health and medicine. Not only is the science not settled on this experimental gene therapy being called a vaccine, there is absolutely no credible science to support social distancing, masking, and lockdowns.
Yeah.
So how can we be called anti-science when there isn't even science to go against?
Yes! Yeah, baby!
Science has become a religion, dogma, and the word itself is empty and based on propaganda and biased results. Our entire medical establishment has been based on a theory that has never been proven, where germs, viruses, and bacteria have been vilified, needing poison to kill them while somehow protecting us.
Yeah.
We are more bacteria than we are human cells. Not only do we have a microbiome, but also a virome. We are interconnected with nature, and the sooner we begin to start living symbiotically together with outside organisms that surround us and live within us, the more resilient we'll become.
Yes! Yes!
What we have been doing has not been working, and it's time to shift our focus. Health does not come from behind a mask, sterilization, or an injection, but from within. Our bodies need vitamin D, Love,
Yes.
connection, hugs,
Yes.
food touched by the sun,
Yes.
movement, nourishment for the soul.
Yes.
These are the things that will allow us to thrive as the miraculous divine beings that we are.
Yeah.
As a mother, I continue to look in the eyes of my children. I think of all the things I dreamt for them when I first looked into their eyes. I think of all the wonderful things I wanted to teach and show them, and all the things I want them to experience in this world. This is still the case. This is why I'm here. I still hope for all children to have a chance to experience the wonder and beauty that life has to offer.
I love you.
I want them to grow up knowing that we did everything we could to protect them and their future. Our children are the next generation that will inhabit this earth and this world, so let's make it a magical place.
Yes.
Remember, we create our reality, we create our rules, and we create our future.
Sitting on.
It's time to come together to take back control. We each have a responsibility to find a new way of living as Canadians, a better way. We're going back to the foundations of hard work, a strong in-person network, self-sustainability, and resourcefulness. This challenge will not be easy and will come with hardships, but I, for one, am excited for this process, knowing the beauty of what we are capable of creating when we come together and stand united.
Yes.
Never underestimate the significance of one person standing up for freedom and the ripple effect that it can have.
Yes.
I know this because I started as just one person inspired by another that stood before me. This is the time to stand up and be bold, to envision the future you want. So with my signature closing, I invite you all to hold your neighbor's hands or put your hands on your heart and close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. Exhale. Feel the power flowing through you. Breathe in. Exhale. Expand. Feel it from your head to your toes. Breathe in to your heart. Exhale. Now envision the future you want. Who are you with? What are you doing? And how do you feel? Breathe in. Continue to feel this truth and power run through your veins in every part of your cells. Exhale. We are capable of anything we desire. We are strong and powerful divine beings. One last time. Breathe in. Exhale. Now open your eyes. Remember, we are only as strong as our weakest link. So let's continue to support each other. Let's lift each other up, help each other, and make brave changes for our future. We must move forward with love in our hearts. We are the 99%. We are the change. We are the truth. Build your community now. And I challenge you today to exchange contact information with a person here today. Make a new friend. It's the first step to finding your people and building your network so that you know you're not alone. I believe that to whom much is given, much is required. It is time to unite our voices, be the leaders for Canada and for the rest of the world. We must let the whole world know that we will not be silenced. We do not comply. We stand united and we stand firm. We hold the right to control our bodies and our life. We will continue to rise higher with love and peace in our hearts. Let our voices be heard now for all to hear, for the true north, strong and free.
Freedom! Freedom!
Freedom! Freedom!
Freedom! Speaker after speaker, nothing but knowledge, nothing but sense of mind that we already know
guys.
each other. We come here like-minded
Did you hear
people
that
standing
speech,
together,
man? Oh my
fighting
God,
for
it's
one
like
common goal,
sobbing.
freedom. Remember the Parliament holding our rights and freedoms right here.
I think we got
I know we're
Randy
gonna get
Hillier
into
next,
that.
I believe.
I know we're at Plan B's location because others didn't believe in that. They wanted to lock us out with front loaders, with big dump trucks, with things that should be shut down, I thought. That's what I thought was supposed to be locked down, but they seem to be working quite fine. Funny. I didn't see them out there snow shoveling when the snow came a couple days ago, but hey, what can we do? But we have lots of people in the medical field starting to stand up, starting to get their voices out to like-minded medias that are out here that will continue to push our voice, our message out there. We have another person coming from the medical field out here to bring a little more knowledge to you, enlighten you on some numbers, enlighten you on a lot of things that maybe your government hasn't really followed through with. A lot of times they just shoot numbers at you. Look at this pie chart, look at this, and as quick as you can look at it, it's already off the screen. We don't even have Donald Trump to make fun of anymore. He's gone, so it's just COVID, COVID, COVID. All of a sudden the flu's gone. All of a sudden child trafficking stuff is not happening anymore, apparently. I don't hear that on the news as much. So that gives them a free pass to get away with it. Not on our watch. Not on our watch. Us Canadians are like-minded, and we are not going to have it anymore. The buck stops here, like Dougie said, right? But this is how it stops. Coming together at times like this, freezing cold, standing together, embracing each other, sharing like-minded messages. So I'll welcome another person to the stage. Dr. Ronald Brown, please come to the stage. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
One more time. Please make some noise for Dr. Ronald Brown, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. I had a whole PowerPoint presentation ready. We were going to have a big screen in the back. And then I got here like, oh no, if you want to see the PowerPoint presentation, come over to my car. I have it in the trunk. So right now, I'm going to just have to try to remember what the heck was on all those slides. So bear with me. I don't know if you realize it, but right now the world is looking at Ontario. Right now. I have people from out of the country saying, what's going on up there? We have an opportunity here. We have a leadership opportunity to lead the world.
Yeah, baby.
Honestly, I'm speaking from my heart. Now, I have a PhD. I'm currently a doctor. I have peer-reviewed articles in the National Library of Medicine of the National Institute of Health. And I'm currently focusing all my attention on this pandemic. So I have a lot of information to share. There's no way we can even do more than touch the tip of the iceberg right now. So stay in touch, and I'm going to be putting information onto the websites and online. And just remember, this is the beginning. This is just the beginning. We have to continue to grow. Now, did you hear Doug Ford last week said, we made a mistake?
He said sorry.
Well, he said sorry.
Sorry.
And did you hear him before he was elected and he said we're going to end hallway health care? Does anybody remember hallway health care? And he said that in 1 year. Well, guess what? We have hallway health care anymore. What's it called? COVID-19. It's the same problem. It always happens this time of year. So what's happening? It has something to do with my research is on what we call the case definitions of the coronavirus. If you want to make the coronavirus go away, if you want to make the pandemics go away and the lockdowns go away, just change the case definition. That's what China did. Now, when I say China, I'm talking about the government. Okay? The Chinese government changed the case definition from the World Health Organization's case definition. They narrowed it so much, and this was all on my PowerPoint slides, but I'm going to have to just try to remember this. They narrowed the case definition so much, it practically disappeared. Do you know how many people died of the coronavirus in less than months?
Officially.
2!
Wow.
Not 2,000, not 200, 2 people. How many people died in the United States, for example, in that same amount of time? What, 480,000? So what's going on here? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. China only considers coronavirus cases if you have pneumonia. They call it novel coronavirus pneumonia. So that pretty much eliminates a lot of cases right there. But they go farther than that. You have to be tested for the coronavirus, but there can't be any other pathogens co-infecting you. Now, when you look at the research, it turns out that about 80% of people who have the coronavirus have other pathogens too. They have co-infections. So if you eliminate all the co-infections, what's left? Nothing. That explains why when you look at the graph of China's cases and deaths, there's nothing there. It's gone. It's wonderful. Look what China did. Everybody do that. And what did they do? They shut their society down. Lockdown. Except the World Health Organization didn't understand that we now understand that what China did was change the case definition. It had nothing to do with the lockdowns. I mean, we're doing the same lockdowns. Are we getting results?
No!
Now we understand. So I have a question. When did the choice between our public health and our rights and freedoms? When did that become a choice? Either or. It only started like that when we turned into a totalitarian society by using the same totalitarian lockdowns from China. If a new pathogen would emerge before the lockdowns, public health would look into it and say, we're looking into it, we're doing epidemiological studies, we're seeing how severe it is, we're seeing how widespread it is. Just go about your business, we'll keep you up to date. That's the way it's supposed to be done. They're supposed to protect our public health within the framework of our rights and freedoms.
Yeah.
So why aren't they doing that now? Well, if you look at the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, it says those rights and freedoms are guaranteed with reasonable limits. Reasonable limits. Now I ask you, based upon what I just told you about how China changed their case definition, is it reasonable to think that we should do lockdowns and expect the same results? No, it's not reasonable. And that's our case. And that's the message we have to deliver to the public. So everybody here knows people who wonder why we're here, right? Right now, half the world is looking at us and saying, great. And the other half is going, are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah,
we got to talk to the, are you kidding me people? We have to explain this to them. That we have to get back to the way things were. We have to protect our rights and freedoms while we protect our public health. So remember, this is just the beginning. Next time we get together, I have more slides for you, and we'll have a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you!
Dr. Ronald Brown, please continue to make some noise.
So he is a doctor, an epidemiologist.
More speakers and more speakers.
We also had
telling you
a
things a lot of you guys
police officer.
already know. That's why you guys
And
are
we
out
had
here. Enough
a
is
fired
enough.
nurse from Toronto.
Enough is enough. Say it with
And
me.
I think
Enough
next,
is enough.
we might have
Enough
Randy
is
Hillier
enough.
coming up. Guys, who's a politician.
More and more people
guys
get
did good out
together.
there.
The voices will continue to grow. The volume will get louder. We will either bang down on their door peacefully, or we will take over their live streams, and we will show you that we are no longer idly standing by. We are no longer tolerating what this malarkey you're pushing down our throats. We elected you, you work for us.
Yeah!
Make some noise! We have a few more speakers coming up. We're not done yet. We're staying warm. The energy is staying high. Thank you to our soundmen. Thank you to our DJs that are here providing the beats that we can move to and keep our energy going. Thank you to the wise words that are being spoken, filling our brains. Let's treat our bodies like a temple, not a portal potty, okay? Next, Stephen Innocente, please come to the stage. Lots of words, lots of beautiful talk coming up. We're going to slide through here. Please make some noise to Stephen.
It's holding so far. I too am a doctor. I did my master's and PhD at McMaster University. I was a cancer researcher. And then I moved to Edinburgh, Scotland, and I spent 10 years there studying yeast. And that led me into my next career, owning a microbrewery. Now, I'll tell you folks, us small guys need all the support from all of you. Because when it went out that I'm doing this, the hate that I received online, being called a racist, being called a homophobe, it's insane. The cancel culture is real. But I'm here to talk to you about PCR and science. That is what I became a global expert in when I was in Edinburgh. I've done probably 150, 200,000 of those myself. And that's what's got us into this whole problem. RT-qPCR. You've probably heard of it, right? The PCR test. You've heard of cycles. You've heard of the cycle thresholds. PCR is a beautiful thing. The fellow that dreamt it up, Dr. Kerry Mullis, won a Nobel Prize for it. And even he said it should never be used as a diagnostic test.
Never! Never!
Conveniently, he died.
Yeah.
August 2019.
2019, weird. Yeah.
But I digress. It should never be used. It should never be used as a test. It is far too sensitive. Right now, the province of Ontario was testing up to 47 cycles.
Wow.
The WHO recommended 25. That difference is a 10 million-fold increase in sensitivity.
Wow.
I could be a kumquat if they tested my DNA like that. It's not rational. And even now, the WHO, because they've been so right about this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
They say 25 cycles and no more. Ontario says, nah, we're going to do 35. That's still 1,000 times more sensitive. This got us into this problem. They're testing. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. And we've, for the past 14 months, we've told science. I think that should be a registered trademark, the science. We've been told that lockdowns work. Do they?
No!
We've been told that the virus, SARS-CoV-2, is a novel virus. It's actually not. It's basically a variant of SARS. We've been told masks work, and therefore masking children is justified and harmless.
Child abuse!
We've been told viruses spread on surfaces and via droplets. They don't. They don't.
They do
Aerosols,
not.
my friends. Someone who is not sick is still sick and able to spread the disease.
No.
Many scientific papers in December alone disproved. One of them had 10 million people in a study disproving asymptomatic transmission. 0 cases. 10 million.
0. Wow.
We have also been told, since this was a novel coronavirus, we have no previous immunity. None. It's like, well, we've never seen this before. It's going to kill everyone. No, we have immunity to this. There's been studies, Canadian studies, that have shown 90% of people tested have antibodies to this. And that's not even our T cells. 30 to 60% T cell cross reactivity. Our immune system's seen this. We can fight it. That's why not as many people as we thought have been sick or died. People have died. I mean, that's a problem.
We die every day.
Absolutely. Well, died. Correlation is not causation. That is a scientific principle. Died with COVID or due to COVID, that needs to be researched. And this little nugget that came out of that hideous woman Tam's mouth this week, we must achieve a 75% vaccination rate to get to herd immunity.
Yeah, murder.
I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Vaccines work, but I'm sorry, when you want to give me a jab for something that I need a test that's 10 million times more sensitive than it needs to be to tell me I was sick in the first place, I'm not taking it. We've also been told, and this is this gets my wife going, there are no effective treatments for COVID-19.
Yeah.
You just go into a hospital and you just wait to die. We know that's not the case. And most insulting of all, your freedom is granted to you by your government and worse, unelected public health tyrants, and can be revoked at will. Can it be? You're right. I'm going to cut this short. I did have a letter that I sent off to Doug Ford, my wife and I wrote in January of this year, basically asking for, let's have some fresh scientific voices. Let's have other opinions. Maybe we have some child psychologists on the panel. Maybe some economics. Some small business people. No. It did give me, however, a phone call with Doug Ford's own health policy advisor. So it did get somewhere. So keep trying.
Nice.
Keep fighting. I mean, what basically came out of it is they're a bunch of headless chickens covering their arse right now, which is not a good sign. It really isn't. I want to thank you all for being here, for coming out, freezing your butts off. It's not nice. We should have done this yesterday. Why did we not do this yesterday? Thank you for your time. Please support the small businesses that have stuck their neck out to do this stuff. Go into and not wear a mask, or have hand sanitizer forced down your throat, support these places, even if it costs you more. It's worth it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. We love you.
Dr. Stephen Insante. Please make some noise for someone very important who helped have you guys come out today. If you don't know the man, you will now. Mr. Jason Cook. Please make some noise.
Thank you all for coming today. I have a story that I want to share with you guys. Some of you may know or may not know me, but I've had a lot of medical issues, and our healthcare system has grossly let me down. In November, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis. So basically what it is it attacks your facet joints, and it's caused my neck to permanently fuse.